So, hello everyone. Today's topic is pancreas and duodenum. Now, before even I take you to this topic, I want all of you to understand the basic anatomy of this region. Like whenever we talk about the location of the organs, whenever we talk about the location of the organs, the location of the duodenum and pancreas, the location of the duodenum and pancreas is grossly somewhat like this. It occupies the four areas. It occupies four areas of the um, various abdominal quadrants. So the duodenum grossly lies like this. Duodenum lies in the three areas, okay, in a C-shaped manner. So duodenum grossly lies in these three areas, but pancreas, which lies in the C-shaped loop of the duodenum, pancreas which lies in the C-shaped loop of duodenum, it occupies four areas. Okay. Now with that basic knowledge, let us start. I'm not starting the topic as such. I'm giving you a orientation. I'm giving you a orientation of how this or both organs are and their relations are. And then it will be very easy for you to understand the various relations. So we said that duodenum lies, the duodenum has a first part like this, which is 2-inch long, a second part which is 3-inch long, a third part which is 4-inch long, and a fourth part which is 1-inch long. So this is the first part, this is the second part, this is the third part, this is the fourth part. Okay. So first part, second part, third part, and fourth part. So this, what I have written here is the length. Now the pancreas, they lie in the C-shaped loop. The pancreas, they lie in the C. Now before even I go to the pancreas, I'll firstly just talk about the various relations of the liver, of the duodenum in relation to liver. So the liver will be located here like this. Okay, that means the first part is behind the liver. It is behind the liver. Gallbladder will be located here. So the second part, this is the first part, second part, third part, fourth. Second part will be behind. Second part will be behind the gallbladder. Then below the liver is kidneys. So the kidneys will be located like this. That means second part will be anterior to the kidneys and posterior to the gallbladder. And then kidneys, and here will be the renal vein, and then the aorta, the IVC will be here. Okay, grossly IVC will go like this, and aorta will be here. Okay, and from the aorta, the superior mesenteric vessels will arise. The superior mesenteric vessels will arise, and this superior mesenteric vessels, they will lie in the loop of mesentery. That means for the third part, the anterior relation will be the superior mesenteric vessel. Okay. Now orienting you towards the anatomy of pancreas. Anatomy of pancreas. Now, suppose this is the C-shaped loop of the duodenum, and this is the pancreas. Okay. So pancreas will have a head, it will have a neck, it will have an uncinate process, it will have a body, tail not seen here, tail I'll show you when I zoom in or zoom out. So if you see the head has upper border, it has a right border, it has a lower border. So upper border will be grossly related to the first part of duodenum. The the right border will be related to the second part, lower part will be related to the third part, lower border. Now here in between both of them will come some blood vessels. The superior mesenteric gastroduodenal, then superior mesenteric, superior pancreatic or duodenal artery. And then the superior mesenteric artery gives inferior pancreatic or duodenal artery. So the inferior pancreatic or duodenal artery will come like this. That means upper border of pancreas is related to superior pancreatic or duodenal artery. Lower border is related to the inferior pancreatic or duodenal artery. And the right border is related to the anastomosis between the superior pancreatic or duodenal and the inferior pancreatic or duodenal artery. Okay. Now anteriorly, posteriorly somewhere here will be the IVC. So the head will be related to the IVC on the posterior aspect. And anteriorly going like this will be the transverse column. Transverse. So that will be the relations of the head. The next to the IVC here will be the aorta. So the aorta will be like this. So aorta will be related to the uncinate process on the posterior aspect, and anterior aspect, the superior mesenteric vessels will be going like this. The tail of the pancreas lies in the lienorenal ligament, and will be related to the spleen, Also coming here in the second part of duodenum, here is the opening of the bile duct and the pancreatic duct. One thing we have to understand, that why this superior pancreatic or duodenal artery, which is coming from gastroduodenal artery, which is coming from the hepatic artery, which is coming from the celiac trunk, why this one artery is coming from celiac trunk and one coming from the superior pancreatic or duodenal artery. And the reason for this, the simple reason for this is that duodenum and pancreas, they develop at the junction of foregut and midgut, and that is the reason that they will be getting their blood supply from both artery of the foregut and the artery of the midgut. So during development, what happens is at the junction of the foregut and the midgut, there arise two. So suppose this is the foregut and this is the midgut. Okay, so this is foregut and this is midgut. At the junction of foregut and midgut, there are two pancreatic buds which arise. One is called as the ventral bud, another is called as dorsal bud. After the rotation of the gut, they get organized in such a way that, suppose this, so the first part of duodenum and the some part of the second part of duodenum will develop from foregut, and remaining second part and third part and fourth part of duodenum will be developing from midgut. Now suppose this is the duodenum, and now the pancreatic buds. I'm drawing both of them in two different colors. The dorsal bud comes to lie like this, and the ventral bud comes to lie like this. And both of them have their own ducts. Okay. Both of them have their own ducts. Now what happens here is the duct of the ventral bud gets connected with the dorsal bud. Okay, it gets connected with the duct of the dorsal bud. So if you compare this to the diagram of the pancreas, with looking at this diagram, the main duct of the pancreas is formed like this: part of the ventral duct, part of the connection, and the distal portion is derived from the part of the dorsal bud, duct of the dorsal bud. While this forms the major duct of the pancreas, which opens on the major duodenal pancreas, and this forms the accessory duct. This forms the accessory duct, and this is the formation of the main duct of pancreas. Main duct of pancreas. So when we talk about the development, when we talk about the development of pancreas, the final thing which you have to write, the parts developing from the dorsal bud. So what are the parts developing from the dorsal bud? From the dorsal bud develops the upper part of head. See, upper part of head develops the upper part of head. Then the neck, then the body and tail. Okay, from the ventral bud develops lower part of head, develops lower part of head and uncinate process, lower part of head and uncinate process. Also, the dorsal bud gives rise to the distal part of the main pancreatic duct, distal part of main pancreatic duct, distal part of main duct and accessory duct, which opens on minor duodenal papilla. While ventral bud also contributes to the proximal portion, to the proximal portion, proximal portion contributes to the proximal portion of the main pancreatic duct, main pancreatic duct. So that's about the development of the pancreas. From the dorsal bud develops the head, the neck, upper part of the head, the neck, the body and tail, and accessory duct and distal part of the main duct. From the ventral bud develops the lower part of head, uncinate process, and the proximal part of the main pancreatic duct. Now, with all the prior knowledge which we studied in the initial part of the lecture, now let us start writing the relations of the various parts of the pancreas. So let us start with writing about the head of pancreas. Okay, so head, we said, of the pancreas is like this, has an uncinate process, and then here is the neck. Okay, this head, we said, lies in the C-shaped loop, lies in the C-shaped loop of the duodenum. So this is first part of duodenum, this is second part of duodenum, this is third part of duodenum. In between both of them, coming down here, is superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, and arising from the superior mesenteric is inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. Inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. So head of the pancreas has three borders: upper border, right border and lower border, two surfaces, anterior surface and posterior surface. Anterior surface and posterior surface. Now I start writing. Now I start writing the relations of the head. So the head of the pancreas has two surfaces, right? Anterior and posterior. It has three borders. It has three borders: superior, right, and inferior. superior, right, and inferior. Now, if you see the relation, anterior relation of the head, anterior relation of the head lying here like this is the transverse column. Okay, so anterior relation of the head is transverse column. Transverse column. Posterior relation of the head is IVC. Is IVC. Okay. Now the borders. Borders. You can see superior border is related to first part of duodenum and superior pancreaticoduodenal artery. Okay. So superior border is related to first part of duodenum and superior pancreaticoduodenal artery. Okay. So the superior border is related to first part of duodenum and superior pancreaticoduodenal artery. The inferior border is related to third part of duodenum and inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. And the right border right border is related to second part of duodenum and second part of duodenum and second part of duodenum and anastomosis between superior pancreaticoduodenal artery and inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. Superior pancreaticoduodenal artery and inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. So that's the relation of the head. Anteriorly related to transverse colon, posteriorly related to IVC, has three borders. Upper border related to first part of duodenum and superior pancreaticoduodenal artery. Right border related to second part of duodenum and anastomosis between superior and inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery, and the inferior border related to inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery and the third part of duodenum. Now the neck of the pancreas. Now suppose this is the neck of the pancreas. Now pancreas is a retroperitoneal structure. It's a retroperitoneal structure. It is one of the structures which form the stomach bed. And so stomach is there lying anteriorly. And the pylorus of the stomach. The pylorus of the stomach. So the anterior relation of the neck of the pancreas is pylorus of the stomach. Pylorus of stomach. It is related to pylorus of the stomach. And posteriorly, what happens is behind the neck, there is this superior pancreaticoduodenal, the superior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein. Okay, so there is the splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein, which are uniting behind the neck to form portal vein. Portal vein. That means the neck of the pancreas anteriorly related to pylorus and posteriorly it is related to formation of portal vein. Formation of portal vein. Okay. Now coming to the body of the pancreas. Now whenever you saw the diagram of the pancreas and even when you will see the organ pancreas, you will see the body of the pancreas as a very flat structure, as if it is having only two surfaces, anterior surface and posterior surface. But that is not the fact. If I take a cross section of this body and look it from the side, the body of the pancreas appears something like this. The body of the pancreas appears something like this. It is triangular in shape. This is the posterior aspect. This is the anterior border. This is the anterior border. Okay. This is the superior border. So it's triangular in shape. This is posterior. This is anterior. This is the inferior border. This is the inferior border. This surface is called as anterior surface or superior surface. This surface is called as inferior surface, and this surface is called as posterior surface. Okay. So along the superior border of the pancreas, runs the splenic vein, and till it enters the spleen. So I write at the superior border is a splenic artery. Sorry, if I said splenic veins, is the splenic artery. Superior border related to splenic artery. Now here is the aorta, and arising from the aorta is the superior mesenteric vessels. Superior mesenteric vessels. So they are crossing the inferior border, right? They are going on the uncinate process. In that whole process, they are related to the inferior border. So inferior border is related to superior mesenteric vessels, and these superior mesenteric vessels, they lie in the root of mesentery. Root of mesentery, you may have heard this word, root of mesentery. The mesentery is the covering of the small intestine. So superior, and it is attached to the posterior abdominal wall by a root, by a root. So what is happening is here, the superior mesenteric vessels which supply the small intestine, they have to pass through the mesentery which is covering the small intestine. In this process, the inferior border of the pancreas is related to the root of mesentery with the superior mesenteric vessels. Now the anterior border. Attached to the anterior border of the pancreas is the transverse mesocolon. Is the transverse mesocolon. Is the transverse mesocolon. Is the transverse mesocolon. Now this anterior surface, it is the one which forms the stomach bed. Stomach bed. So the anterior surface of the pancreas forms the stomach bed, will be related to stomach. Will be related to stomach. Now coming to the posterior surface. Now posterior surface will have many things, right? Posterior surface of the pancreas will have aorta, will have the left crus of diaphragm, the left suprarenal, the left kidney. Because if here will be the kidney like this, the left kidney. I'm drawing the posterior relation. Here will be the left suprarenal, okay, left kidney, the left suprarenal, then the left renal vessels, and most important, see, we said the posterior relation of the head of the pancreas was IVC, and next to IVC is aorta, right? So the aorta will be grossly here like this. Okay, so this will be aorta. So aorta, then the renal vessels, which origin of the inferior mesenteric artery. Okay, the left suprarenal, the left renal vessels. Okay, so let's jot down the things which are there posterior on the posterior surface of the pancreas. One is aorta, then is origin of superior mesenteric vessels, origin of superior mesenteric vessels, then is the left renal vessels, then is kidney left kidney. Okay, then above left kidney is suprarenal left suprarenal. The splenic artery runs like this on the superior surface, but running behind the pancreas is splenic vein, and this splenic vein will unite with the superior mesenteric vein to form portal vein, which lies behind the neck of the pancreas. We just discussed this. So the splenic vein will be there on the posterior aspect, of the pancreas. Another thing before I go ahead, I would like to tell here that this splenic artery, as it is going to the splenic, supplying the spleen, it gives one artery here, which is called as arteria pancreatica magna. Arteria pancreatica magna. Okay. Now we go on to understand the relation. So before I go ahead, I would just like to revise for all of you the body of the pancreas. So body of the pancreas orientation, this is superior, this is inferior, this is anterior, this is posterior. So body is not flat. It has a posterior surface and then it has an anterior surface which is like this, which you may not see in the specimen. So anterior surface is like this. It has an anterior border, superior border, inferior border. Anterior border related to transverse mesocolon, which is attached there. Inferior border related to superior mesenteric vessels, which are there in the root of the mesentery. Superior border, the spleen is related. Anterior surface forms the stomach bed. Inferior surface is related to the coils. It is related to the coils of jejunum and ileum. Jejunum and ileum. Posterior surface is the only surface which is related to multiple things. The aorta will be posterior to the body of pancreas, the left kidney, the left renal vessels, the left suprarenal, and splenic vein. This splenic vein is coming like this, and behind the neck of the pancreas, it is united with superior mesenteric vein to form portal vein. To form portal vein. Now coming to the last part of the pancreas, and that is the tail. That is the tail of the pancreas. The tail of the pancreas lies in the lienorenal ligament. Tail of the pancreas lies in the lienorenal ligament. All of us know this, that suppose this is the lienorenal ligament, this is the spleen, and this is the gastrosplenic ligament. So whenever we will have class on spleen, we will be studying this. So this is spleen, okay, and this coming from the kidney's lienorenal ligament. So the tail of the pancreas, it lies in the lienorenal ligament. It is related to the hilum of the spleen, and running along with the lienorenal ligament in the along with the tail of pancreas in the lienorenal ligament is the splenic artery. This splenic artery also gives short gastric vessels which enters this gastrosplenic ligament. This is gastrosplenic ligament and this is lienorenal ligament. Lienorenal ligament. So tail of the pancreas lies in the lienorenal ligament, is related to the hilum of the spleen. Okay, lies in the lienorenal ligament along with the splenic vessels. So by now, if I have to talk about the arterial supply of the pancreas, it is very easy for me now. Superior pancreaticoduodenal artery, which is a branch of gastroduodenal artery, which is a branch of common hepatic artery, which is a branch of celiac trunk. The reason, pancreas develops from both foregut and midgut. Then inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery, it is a branch of superior mesenteric artery. It is a branch of superior mesenteric artery. Superior mesenteric artery is the artery of midgut. Pancreas develop at the junction of foregut and midgut. So superior pancreaticoduodenal artery ultimately coming from the celiac trunk. Ultimately, there are many things in between, but ultimately coming from the celiac trunk, and this is coming directly from the superior mesenteric artery, the inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. One second, just my camera is losing little focus. Just give me 2 minutes. Now there is a third artery along with the superior pancreaticoduodenal artery, and along with the superior, there is a third artery which supplies the pancreas. Suppose this is the pancreas. So the splenic artery goes like this on the top, and it gives arteria pancreatica magna. Arteria pancreatica magna. Okay, so we have superior pancreaticoduodenal artery, inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery, and arteria pancreatica magna. Venous drainage is by superior pancreaticoduodenal vein. inferior pancreaticoduodenal vein, and the some part may drain into the splenic vein, but mainly these two veins. Okay, the uh, and the portal vein, basically the venous, some of the venous drainage. The lymphatics, so the venous drainage is into superior pancreaticoduodenal vein, inferior pancreaticoduodenal vein, and portal vein. Now, talking about lymphatics, they will follow the arteries, and they will mainly go to the pancreaticosplenic lymph nodes. The pancreaticosplenic lymph nodes, the celiac lymph nodes, the superior mesenteric group of lymph nodes. Okay, the nerve supply, the nerve supply, because it's a splanchnic organ, it vagus will give the supply through the various plexus around the arteries, and the sympathetics will also come, and sympathetics will be more of vasomotor, and they will control the secretion of the pancreatic juice. Okay, all of you know that pancreas is both endocrine as well as exocrine organ. It is both endocrine as well as exocrine organ. I've spoken about development. Now I'll talk about the applied anatomy. The applied anatomy. And whenever we talk about the applied anatomy, our first point always is congenital anomalies. Congenital anomalies. So congenital anomaly here is annular pancreas. Annular pancreas. What is annular pancreas? The pancreas is supposed to develop from the ventral bud and dorsal bud. But what happens is this pancreas sometimes surrounds the duodenum. So this is the duodenum, and this whole thing is pancreas. Pancreas means all flesh, all flesh. It's a very fleshy organ. So this causes duodenal obstruction. So that is annular pancreas you have to talk about. I said second point, always in the applied anatomy. In the applied anatomy, you have to write about investigations. So what investigations we do on pancreas? Okay, by in your biochemistry you must have studied some of the uh, investigations we do, some of the specific enzymes which increase during pancreatic inflammation. Anatomically, we specifically want you to learn that ERCP, endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography, where what we do is we put a scope inside the duodenum, and here is the opening of the pancreatic duct and the bile duct on the major duodenal papilla, which splits into pancreatic duct and bile duct at this, and here is the sphincter of Fedus. So from here we may enter and study the pancreatic uh, duct, or we may supply the bile, we may go and study the bile duct through the scope. So endoscopic retrograde cholangio starts for the biliary system, and pancreatography we can study the pancreas also. So that's the investigation part. Now, medical problem is pancreatitis. Now, what is pancreatitis? So again, coming to the second part of duodenum, and in second part of duodenum is the opening of the bile duct and pancreatic duct. Now, the pancreatic secretions, they are in an inactive state when they are inside the pancreas. Now, what happens to them is when they go outside, they become activated. But whenever a person drinks alcohol, the sphincter of Oddi relaxes, and these activated juices again go inside the pancreas. Okay, and they damage the pancreas. That is pancreatitis, acute or chronic, mostly seen in alcoholics. Mostly it can happen in a normal person also. Then surgical anatomy, you have to talk about a condition called as pseudo pancreatic cyst. Pseudo pancreatic cyst. Now, what is a pseudo pancreatic cyst? It looks like an inflammation of pancreas. So if there is, pancreas is a retroperitoneal organ. So in front of pancreas is stomach. Between stomach and pancreas is lesser sac, which is also called as omental bursa. So if there is some fluid accumulation, inflammatory fluid accumulation, and in the lesser sac, it is called as pseudo pancreatic cyst. Okay, how to approach the pancreas? So it's very difficult for me to approach the posterior abdominal wall, so many organs in between. So what I do is I take a cut on the anterior abdominal wall, I take a cut on the anterior wall of the stomach, I take a cut on the posterior wall of the stomach, and behind the posterior wall of stomach is lesser sac, and beyond that is pancreas. That is how surgically we approach the pancreas. And last is cancer, especially cancer of the head of the pancreas. What the cancer of the head of the pancreas can do? There it can obstruct, it can obstruct multiple things. Now this is the duodenum, here is the opening of the bile duct, here is the pancreas, right? Here is the neck of the pancreas where there is the pylorus. So this the pancreas of the head, what it can do is it can obstruct the sphincter of Oddi and cause obstructive jaundice. It can cause obstructive jaundice. Okay, it can cause obstructive jaundice. Then here is portal vein formation behind the neck of pancreas. So it can obstruct the portal vein and cause ascites. It can cause ascites. It can obstruct the portal vein and cause ascites. And another thing it can do is in front, behind the neck of pancreas is portal vein formation. Anterior is pylorus. The head can obstruct the pylorus and cause intestinal obstruction. It can cause intestinal obstruction. Okay. It can cause intestinal obstruction. So this is the applied anatomy of the pancreas. So again, I will like to go back to the basics. Today we started from here where we talked about the location of the pancreas, and we said it is lying in the C-shaped loop of the duodenum and occupying four regions: the epigastric region, the umbilical region, slightly the lumbar region, and mainly the right hypochondriac region. Then we studied the various relations like this. This is the first part of duodenum. This is second part of duodenum. This is third part of duodenum, which is 4-inch long. This is first part. And behind the first part is liver. Behind the second part is kidney. Behind the third part is aorta, and the IVC going down. Coming from the IVC is like this, the root of mesentery. Okay. And then we also studied this diagram where we talked about how superior pancreaticoduodenal artery is coming, how inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery is coming, how IVC is behind the head and aorta is behind the body of the pancreas. Then we talked about the development of the pancreas. We said there is ventral bud and dorsal bud, right? Ventral pancreatic bud, dorsal bud. And then during rotation of the gut, the dorsal bud lies up and ventral bud lies down. And the duct of the dorsal bud contributes the distal part to the main duct, and its proximal part forms the accessory duct. And then we talked about the development of the pancreas. So whenever we write the development, what develops from the dorsal bud: upper part of the head, the neck, the body, tail, and distal part of the main duct and accessory duct. Ventral duct contributes to the lower part of the head, uncinate process, and the proximal part of the main pancreatic duct. Then we studied the head of the pancreas. We said it has two surfaces, anterior and posterior. It has three borders: superior border, right border, and the inferior border. Anterior surface is related to transverse colon and coils of intestine. Posterior is related to the IVC. Superior border related to first part of duodenum and superior pancreaticoduodenal artery. Inferior is related to third part of duodenum and inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. And the right border is related to the second part of duodenum and the anastomosis. The neck of the pancreas anteriorly related to pylorus, posteriorly related to the formation of portal vein. Portal vein is formed by the union of splenic vein and superior mesenteric vein. Then we studied the body of the pancreas, and we said body of the pancreas is not flat, just having an anterior and posterior surface. Yes, posterior surface is flat, but anterior surface is more of conical, giving rise to two surfaces, anterior and inferior, and three borders: superior border, anterior border, inferior border. Superior border is related to splenic artery. Anterior border is related to attachment of the transverse mesocolon. Inferior border is related to the root of mesentery and the superior mesenteric vessel. Anterior surface is related to stomach bed, inferior surface to coils of jejunum and ileum, while posterior surface is related to aorta, left kidney, left suprarenal, left renal vessel, left crus of diaphragm. Okay, so you have to add crus also. You have to add crus of diaphragm also. Tail of the pancreas lies in the lienorenal related ligament related to the hilum of the spleen. And then arterial supply, we said superior pancreaticoduodenal artery and inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery, because junction of foregut and midgut it develops, and arteria pancreatica magna coming from the splenic artery. Venous drainage is in superior pancreaticoduodenal vein, inferior pancreaticoduodenal vein, and portal vein. Lymphatic drainage is into pancreatosplenic lymph nodes, celiac lymph nodes, and superior mesenteric lymph nodes. Now supply both sympathetic and parasympathetic. They come from the various plexuses. The sympathetic is mainly vasomotor. Okay, and both of them reach along with the plexuses around the arteries. Okay, the sympathetic is the one which is vasomotor, and parasympathetic is the one which controls the pancreatic secretions. Of course, hormonal control is also there. In applied anatomy, we said firstly we write congenital anomalies, where we talked about annular pancreas, where we can see in this diagram pancreas is surrounding the duodenum. Then in the investigations, we said ERCP, endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography. Through the sphincter of Oddi, we enter either bile duct, cholangio, or pancreatography. Then we talked about the pancreas, pancreatitis, the medical problem. So we said the juice of the pancreas when is inside the pancreas is inactive, because it is a very digestive juice. Comes out, becomes active. If a person drinks alcohol, the juice goes back and digests the pancreas, causing pancreatitis. Surgically, we talked about pseudopancreatic cyst, which is accumulation of fluid in the lesser sac, which lies between stomach and pancreas. Then lastly, in the cancer, fifth point should be always about the carcinoma of the organ. Carcinoma of the head of the pancreas can press upon the bile duct and cause obstructive jaundice, because bile duct is opening at the sphincter of Oddi in the second part of duodenum. It can press upon the portal vein, which is behind the neck of the pancreas, and cause ascites, accumulation of fluid in the abdomen, or it can press upon the pylorus and cause intestinal obstruction. So this is all about the the anatomy of the pancreas. So please do, we have recorded this video. We will be uploading it on my on my YouTube page. So please do watch it again and again whenever you have free time, so that you are thorough with this pancreas, which is a long question. And I would just suggest that if you click on the subscribe button and the bell icon of the YouTube, so you can get the latest videos which I am uploading for your benefit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.